I think that leadership, tomorrow's leadership, in fact, will be very different than leadership of in yesterday's world. A little while ago, we chatted about the extraordinary impact of people like Steve Jobs. And I think he's an interesting study, and I think Walter Isaacson characterized the person very, very well. But I think to really grasp the effect of Steve Jobs or his impact, and just as importantly to understand whether he is the prototype for the future or not, I think we have to understand the context of yesterday's, and I'm talking about maybe in the early 20th century world, where the organizations were very vertical, in my opinion, very vertical in their hierarchy, where there were bosses at their top, there were leaders at the top, and they commanded, and the rest of the people followed. It was pretty much the Industrial Revolution model, where many minions, many workers, many in the assembly line, and few people at the top deciding what they would produce. So you have the designers and so forth, and they were the kings, and they would dictate, and certainly the money people would dictate because they had the money to provide the resources and so forth. So in that kind of a structure, you can see various brilliant people begin to emerge and be the dominant players. And I'm not suggesting that in tomorrow's world there won't be other Steve Jobs, but they will be different. In my opinion, they will be different. I would suggest that the future will require a different set of skill sets. Tomorrow's leaders has to be different because the organizational structure of the future is going to be different. It will be much more horizontal, much less emphasis on the leader, the man. Hey, you're the man. That will apply less and less in tomorrow's world. It will be team. Success will be a team sport increasingly because so many of the other factors that affect the ultimate product and service of corporations will come into play. Whether it's, in this case, look at what's happening in the car business today. It's no longer the manufacturing and the assembly guy. You have the design people. You have the manufacturing people. You've got the consumer insights people who try to understand the customer wants and needs, those who understand the competitive frames. And you have the engineers who have to do it cheaper, faster, better, the productive people. There's a complex web that creates product and services of tomorrow. So the leaders are going to have to be different. They have to collaborate together. They have to respect one another. They have to respect, most importantly, the consumer. So among other things, what does a new leader of tomorrow need? Of course, they will need all the basic competencies. You know, they have to know their craft. They have to be brilliant at understanding what's going on. They have to be understanding the consumers and all, as I said, the basic competence, technology itself, how technology can be used as a tool to be put to use to create better products and services. And so that's the entry ticket into the ballgame. But the differentiator are innovation that we talked about and basic human values. Basic human values, to me, are one of the most fundamental differentiators of tomorrow's leaders. Because what is leadership about today and tomorrow? It's about basic human values. Let's start with trust. Let's talk about integrity, right? Let's talk about being held accountable for your intent and also for the outcomes. Hard thing. It's not enough to just be, I want to do good. You have to do good. And you have to take responsibility for the actions to make sure that at the end of the day you do good. Right? So those are the characteristics of the new leader. So integrity and trust I would put right at the top. Without that, I suggest you can't succeed in tomorrow's world as a leader. You will not be a leader tomorrow without trust. And it's going to be thus in commerce, will be thus in academia, and by the way, will be thus in politics.